Hey guys, it's Brian McKnight here. I've been traveling about 17 hours to Guam. I have a concert tonight, and I got off the plane to some of the most heinous craziness I've ever seen in my life. That my oldest son, Brian, would post that I'm abandoning my children. And the reason why, I suppose, is because I have a new family, and I guess this stems from a post that I made the other day about my son, Jack, who I'm very proud of, which isn't to say I'm not and haven't been proud of my other children, but I was proud of this one for the things that he did that day. But we'll get back to it in a second. Anyone who knows me knows over the last 20 years, 30 years now, as a matter of fact, that I've been there for my children every step of the way until recently. And let's be clear, my two sons are 30 and 27, not 12, not 13, but 30 and 27. Now my daughter's about to turn 18. That's another story I'll get to in a second. I've never missed a day of child support. I've never done anything adverse to my children whatsoever. I've always been there. I've always been there with advice, whether they took it or not. I've always been the sounding board, and I've always been the one that tried to help them achieve whatever dreams they were wanting to reach out for. I guess one of my only faults is that I gave my children everything that I didn't have in the hopes that they would appreciate it, because I know how much I would have appreciated it when I was their age. I would tell you, as parents out there, entitling your children is probably one of the worst things you can do, and I know I am guilty of that. For whatever reasons, I'm guilty of that. Tough love is a tough thing as a parent to try to institute to your children, because you want to help them as much as you can, and I did as much as I possibly could. When I stopped doing that for them, BJ was 25 and Nico was 22. And it wasn't like I completely cut them off at that point. That happened much later. But I've been there. When I put them out of my house, I gave them an apartment for 2 years. And I said, guys, this is it. This is the time to grow up. I'm giving you 2 years. I'm going to pay for everything for 2 years, but you're going to have to work or do something, because at the end of those 2 years, that's going to be it. It's time to be men here, guys. It's time to grow up. At the end of those 2 years, they hadn't done any of it. It was just right around the time that Leilani and I had gotten together. Leilani was working at Children's Hospital. And let's be clear, Leilani has been one of the only people who's been an advocate to keeping us together, to keeping us having a relationship, because she wants to have the nuclear family as much as I did. And they have spit in her face at every turn. She got them jobs at the hospital, $18 an hour with benefits, and with the option of the hospital actually paying for them to go back to school. They said, and I quote, that they knew they didn't want to stop smoking, and they would have to pass a drug test. And the day I had the doctors looking into it, Nico's on there, taking a big puff, which is fine. If you want to smoke, that's fine. I'm not saying that that's bad. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But what I'm telling you is that we have been advocates for them every step of the way. Now let's go to the part where we have been estranged. Again, we talk about abandonment. I'm not abandoning them. We are estranged, which happens more often than not in this particular situation. BJ broke into our home a few months ago, and he put X's on the eyes of our wedding photos. And then he put a photo of my first wedding on Leilani's vanity. It was at that moment, and after I heard him say, and was pointed to from other friends of mine that saw his posts on social media, that he basically said that I was better off dead to him than alive. I was more valuable to him dead than alive. And that was the end of me dealing with him. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see that not my last video, but the video before that, 42, the song was written by Brian and I, and it was directed, the video, by Nico. And I went on and I said how proud I was of Nico at the time, and I really, really was. He did an awesome job in that video. Even before that, less than 2 years ago, these are the two gentlemen who stood up for me as my best man in my wedding. So abandonment, deadbeat dad, I'll reiterate, I've never missed a day of child support. I've been there every step of the way. BJ, he talks about Jack's new car. BJ had 3 brand new cars before he was 22. But I'm not talking about material things, because none of this has anything to do with money. It's about respect. Respect goes both ways. And even in family, there's a line that shouldn't and should not ever be crossed. It's crazy to me that people will just believe anything, and I thought it was important to set the record straight and let you guys know that abandonment has nothing to do with any of this. Deadbeat dad, I've been there every step of the way. And let's also remember that these kids are 30 and 27, not 12. It's time for grown men to be grown men. And I'm sorry that tough love happens to be this way. And I do wish them the best. I want them to have and to reach their dreams and their full potential. But like any other man in the world, you got to go out there and you got to take it. As far as my daughter is concerned, you know, her mother, if you look back at my Instagram, she was a part of this family too, with Jack and Julie and Leilani and myself. And unfortunately, along the way, a couple of years ago, I got wind that there was an older cousin who was above 18, who was quite possibly having sex with her. So I called, as a father should, to the state office for children's affairs there in Arizona, and I never heard anything back. But the next thing that her mother did was to block all of us from her social media, from her phone, and completely estranged her from us. So what that told me was they didn't want me to be involved in her life that way. So to see the post that she said, considering that her mother only had a child with me for money in the first place, and I'll reiterate this, I have not missed a child support payment. She goes to one of the most incredible private schools in Arizona. So I don't know where this is all coming from, but I thought that I needed to let everybody know that there's another side to this story. You can choose to believe what you want. I thought that I would lay it out there for you. Anything that I say is actual and factual. All you have to do is Google Brian McKnight and Sons, and you'll see us singing all over YouTube. Go back and look at my Instagram. Go back a couple of years. You'll see that I posted about all of my children. But remember that these kids, these boys, they're grown men, and tough love is exactly what it is. It's tough love. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I hope that gives you a little bit more perspective.
K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, his heart don't pump no Kool-Aid Sadiq, and this is Don't Believe the Hype, the evening edition. Normally we're on Tuesday afternoon, but we're going to move it to Friday evening until further notice because Donovan has some other things that he can't get out of. So, you know, what are we doing on Friday night? We always... Yeah, we sitting at home. Yeah, sitting at home. Watching what, SUV? Forensic Files or something, you know, something that would end up watching us in a couple of minutes because we'd be asleep anyway. So here we are, right? So thank you guys for the congratulations. And so as you guys can see, we are going to talk about Brian McKnight. Some of you guys have probably saw the video of Brian McKnight explaining, I guess, a video or situation that his kids, his older sons, put out saying that basically, and I'm paraphrasing, he was a deadbeat dad. And he made his answer to the video, explaining a whole host of things as to why he's not a deadbeat dad. And of course, we are going to talk about Jay-Z, because we haven't been on here in a while. And, you know, it's only been a week, but it seems like it's been forever. Yeah, it's been forever. Yeah. So, because you guys know that the topic of Jay-Z is still trending, I guess, if you will. And I guess somewhere in between, we can talk about Popeye's chicken sandwiches, too, if y'all want to. So, anyway. Do they serve them good butter biscuits with it? Butter biscuit chicken sandwiches. The butter biscuit chicken sandwich wars. No. Right, exactly. Which Donovan said as soon as we done, he going over there to Popeyes. No. Going to Popeyes to see what all the fuss is about. Right. So anyway, Donovan,
Yes. Now, what I want to talk about, you guys, again, always remember that behind us here is the green screen. It's just something you guys can see right now on the live. But behind that green screen, what we want you to do, we want to pull that down and see who's actually pulling the bells and whistles. And if we pull this down right now, you'll see Al Jackson is back there doing what he does. So, you know, let's give him some executive producer credits there.
What up?
As always, you know, he's the one that. And by the way, are we going to be next season? Have we been renewed for next season?
We've been renewed. We will be back.
She put her best work in. Anyway. Okay, so you guys saw the Brian McKnight video, you know, before we started the thing, and Brian McKnight basically got married to a Filipino lady, and she's very, you know, she's a doctor. I mean, he's doing well for
Working in
himself.
a hospital or something.
Works in a hospital, yeah. She's got her own little practice and stuff in the hospital. And, you know, Brian McKnight's a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
You know, you're 30 years behind me or whatever. So.
At least.
So the man's going on with his life. Now, he also has a daughter that's involved in this, and she co-signed him on to what was going on. Right. Now, Brian McKnight raised his 2 boys with his former wife.
Correct.
And I say this on the show all the time. If you give your kids everything, what will they strive for? Okay?
Right.
Because don't people get on me about, oh, you got to leave something for your son. You got to do this for your kids. No, because if you do that, then all they got to do is wait you out, and they expect something, I don't have a relationship with you, but I'll show up at your funeral to get my share of your estate or whatever. And I said, no, you don't need to do that. So in regards to his daughter, let me talk about her first. The daughter, basically, according to Brian McKnight, was a come-up for the mother.
Right. Yeah, he did say that.
Right.
Yes.
Was a come-up for the mother. Unfortunately, as sad as it is, whatever, the time that and there are videos and pictures of him spending time with his daughter.
Right.
But when you're a product of a situation like that, you will never have that relationship with that father that was just basically there as a child support.
Right.
So, my heart goes out to the daughter, but for her to chime in on this situation, even if the sons didn't chime in, she will always be that stigma because she's that outside child.
Well, and that's what he said too. Brian McKnight said that the mom pretty much got pregnant with the daughter as a child support come up, a money grab.
Exactly. Yeah. So, my heart goes out to the girl, but that circumstance, you will always be that outside child. And, I don't know the situation, but I got to give it to him. I did see videos. I've seen pictures with her. She goes to a prestigious school. I did verify that. Hey, he's doing what he's supposed to do. So how the hell can you call a man who is meeting his financial obligations a deadbeat? By definition, if you're meeting your obligations, a deadbeat is a person who doesn't pay their bills.
Well, it sounds like the sons, and his sons, he said, are 30 and 27, something like that. Sounds like, as some of you guys have said, I'm going to get to every last one of your comments, that the sons made a video pretty much calling Brian McKnight a deadbeat. Sounds like they said he wasn't there for them. And this,
right, not there for the new grandbaby.
Yeah, and so Brian McKnight, for the most part, brought receipts on his video, if you will, because I've seen the videos of him performing with his sons and stuff. He says that not only did they perform together, they've written songs together, and he's given them plenty of opportunities.
They directed some of his videos.
The new wife actually tried to get them jobs at the hospital she worked at, but they didn't show up to the interviews. So he says, especially for them being grown, that he's gone above and beyond, and he's like,
got him an apartment for 2 years?
Got him an apartment, the 2 sons, an apartment, paid for everything for 2 years, and said...
Brand new cars, before 2 or 3 brand new cars before they were 21.
No, he said it was more than that. I think one of them, he said 8 cars or something like that. So he got him these apartments and said, yo, if you can't make a go out of this, everything's paid for after 2 years, then... I don't know what to do.
Right.
So maybe it sounds like that 2 years was up, and then from that point the kids went sour, and out there stabbing them in the back.
Well, and the thing is, like what do I always say about me? Okay, I'm gonna live my life. I mean, I'm done. I've raised my kids, whatever. I'm gonna go have a life. That's the whole point. I am not here. Okay. I always say this, me and you get these philosophical conversations, because like I said, you've done a great job with your daughter and stuff, and you guys have a great relationship. That's awesome. When it comes to men, though, I refuse to support a grown-ass man. I left home at 17, and I know women are a little bit different because you guys are nurturers. But there's no man that I know of that I have met that said, yeah, grown man, come and stay on me and I'll pay all your bills and do all that. You know, by nature, we don't do that.
Right.
And you got to push your kids out.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments real quick. So keep this in mind.
Okay.
Like, when is enough enough? Think about that.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so let's see here. So Tay says the chicken sandwich was good, I can't lie. And Asada says, yeah, I seen a video about those entitled brats.
Exactly.
And Tay says, is Al coming on to do his joke of the day?
Yes, absolutely.
We'll have him do one at the end. And Jonelle says, peace, Queen Donovan and fam. Big salute. Congratulations on your engagement. Thank you. All praises due to Allah.
I still haven't got my money.
That was very creative, Al. Much blessings to
yes,
you.
Very
I mean, thank you so much.
Yes.
And Tay says, wasn't Brian cheating on his wife with that daughter that was a product of an extramarital affair?
My understanding, yeah, we don't know if he was, groupie or whatever, but my understanding was him and his wife were, separated. They were about to go through the divorce, and
I mean, well,
I was lonely.
Then if that's true, he should tell that part of the story. Because from what I heard him say, the mama used the daughter as a come up, but he should also tell the full story. Yeah, I was, getting it in with the side piece, hitting it raw, and then the daughter was a product of you being irresponsible your damn self. So yeah,
they divorced because they divorced his first wife because she was taking money from him and he didn't know about it.
Okay. So when it came down to the finances,
yes.
Right. Okay. So when is enough enough? Like when is when? Tell us your personal
story.
Okay,
I'm going to give you my personal story.
Okay.
I have a 21-year-old. This kid, I told him, I'm here to help you. I'm your father. If you got a plan, yeah, Dad, I need $100 a month because I'm trying to go into this direction. Of course I'm going to help you. You got a plan? I'm going to do that. My son right now goes to University of Arkansas. He's taking advantage of the VA programs. He's making
his master's.
Yeah, and he's making a way for himself. And I'm going to co-sign on that all the way because he's taking advantage of all the advantages that are presented to him.
He can take advice?
Yes, he can take advice. He can take advice. But the thing is, his path, he thought that of himself.
Right.
All I did was say, well, how about this? And I kind of helped him tweak it. And he's going to make his own way, which is fine. As a man, that's what you're supposed to do. You get out in this world and you go get it.
Right.
However you're going to go get it. He wants to be a college athletic director.
Right.
That's his dream, that's his goal, whatever. But he's taking advantage of all the advantages that are put in front of him to make a better situation for himself. Other than the money I've already put out and the benefits that are allotted to him, I don't have to do anything.
So basically you're saying you don't owe your son anything else.
I don't owe him anything else but advice at this point. Because Dad's got to go have a life.
Right. And I'm one of those people, and this is to a fault. I'm one of those people to a fault. I'm very giving, and
yes.
I open up, everything to people, my home, everything.
Not everything.
Not everything. Not everything. No. And so that's kind of something I'm learning. Honestly, this is something I'm learning. You can't help everybody.
Yes.
Because everybody, some people you will help, and then they'll turn around when you tell them no, or you tell them something they don't want to hear, but turn around and say, oh, well, you actually hurt me. Mm-hmm. You didn't do enough for me.
Victim.
Yeah, they play the victim, and so you can't help everyone. And so when I saw Brian McKnight talk about that, I really felt bad for him, for one. Because the truth of the matter is, we don't know all the story. They say there's three sides to a story: their side, his side, and the truth. But to have your kids put you out there like that,
on public, knowing he's a public official.
Yeah, put him out there like that. I mean, everybody has seen him working together. There's credits of them writing songs and a whole host of things. But for your kids to put you out on Front Street, in front of the whole, what was the gain by that?
And what I don't understand.
What were we supposed to do? Was that supposed to bully him into to giving them what they wanted? I don't know.
And I'm really glad that he emphasized their age. We're not talking about 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
we're not talking about
15-year-olds. Right.
We're talking about grown men.
Right.
And as people of our age and our ilk, yeah, when
When do I go get to live my life?
So wait, he's supposed to take care of his kids till they're 40? I mean, why not 40? Why not 50? You know, and so on, so on, so on.
But let me ask you this too. Could some of that be his fault?
Yes.
Because sometimes,
he said that.
Yeah, because sometimes we do help our kids
too much
to the point of we hinder them. You know, it's like my mom's best friend once said, there's a difference of being in love with your kids and loving your kids.
I think I said that too.
Yeah, because when you're in love with your kids, you give them everything. You don't want to see them cry. You don't want to see them hurt. You just, you know, you give in. But when you love your kids, you'll tell them no. Even if it hurts, because you know it's going to make them better people. And they're going to figure it out.
And, you know, I get tired of, and I know I come down on the single moms a lot, but I get tired of the excuses. You are undermining your children. You will be surprised at how innovative the human being is when it comes to survival.
Right. Well, a lot of times.
Don't get me wrong. Premium right now is on a premium. Pussy is on a premium right now because.
No, but you're absolutely right. When you, it's like the birds. Birds do it. When the kids get a certain age in life or whatever,
cut off the food.
They push them out. Bye.
Either you're going to fly or you're going to fall.
You're going to fly and die.
Or you're going to swim.
Now, of course, you don't want your kids out there homeless, you know, turning tricks, none of that stupid stuff.
But you definitely don't want them coming to the house selling drugs in your house and jeopardizing your situation.
This is the other part. This is the other part, especially in our community. We somehow have this freakish ideology that when the kids turn 18, you grown, you're on your own.
Right, and that's wrong. And you hit me to the reasons of why that is.
Because we haven't, a lot of times, we haven't equipped our kids with enough to be out there on their own at 18. And you're 18, you're just chronologically an adult, but you don't have the tools mentally, financially, to, you know, and sometimes physically to even get out there and make a go of it, especially if you're not that type of parent that has taught your kids, you know, how to fend for themselves, you know, slowly but surely, obviously, you know, how to balance a checkbook. Hell, what kind of job you gonna get at 18? That's going, especially if you live in California, to help you sustain yourself.
Right.
So you done kicked your kid out the house at 18 years old, and they don't know anything. They end up getting in trouble and just having a hard life because we haven't given them the tools necessary to even know how to do any of that.
And Dee and I used to go back and forth with that because here's my situation. I would tell, and I know I'm hard on the women, but you have to be hard. When you let little Pookie sit on the thing and you're not teaching him nothing, right? This is where I have a problem with that. You set him up for failure. You don't teach him that. You don't make him do anything. He's the prince of the house. You're dating your son. Okay, great. That's what you want to do. You want to do that. I, as a man, have a problem with that because now you want to kick him out because he's 28. He's got 4 grandbabies by 3 different women that he keeps putting on you to support. When you should have put your foot down and put expectations on him all the way from, you know, grade school, 6th grade on up and say, this is your expectations, what you need to do. Because I think it's a crime when you set him up for failure, then you want to kick him out.
Because he getting on your nerves now.
Right.
You want to bring your boo thing home, and you can't because Junior on the couch playing PlayStation.
Exactly. Or he's waiting for you to come home and cook.
Right, well,
he can't fend for himself.
This is the thing, though. So, I don't know what Brian McKnight's situation is or was, and he did say, to some degree, that he has spoiled the kids.
Yeah, he took advantage of, I mean...
So, some of that he's got to own.
Yeah, and he owned it. He
said, you've done so much for your kids to where they like, you know, it's like the Menendez brothers.
Yes.
Y'all know the Menendez brothers story? What happened with the Menendez brothers?
Killed their parents for the money.
Their parents were uber rich millionaires. It was out here for most of you guys who live out here. Joe, now I'm going to get your comments. Millionaires, their sons ended up killing them. The wife and the dad and the mom, because they wanted their stuff.
Right. They wanted their inheritance, right? And their dad was kind of a hardliner, like, okay, you guys got to go get it.
Now, obviously, they're saying there was some other issues, but the premise where a lot of people were saying they were just greedy. Dad couldn't, this is what I do believe firmly, that there's never enough of more.
Right.
And so sometimes you spoil people to the point, and then when you tell them no, like there was a story, I can't remember, it was a football player today, I don't know the backstory, but his son killed him and his wife.
Oh yeah, I saw that article.
Some football player in Minnesota, he was playing for Minnesota, killed him and his wife. And I was telling Al, I said, I bet you he killed him because they told him no. So anyway,
and the Menendez brothers, within a week of burying their parents, they were buying Porsches, Rolex watches. I mean, it was crazy. They just went crazy. So.
And Jonelle says, if these children isn't groomed for what they will inherit, they will lose it via ignorance. The job of the father, as the Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches, is to take their children, and that takes intelligence more than materialistic things. Every child should read Rich Dad, Poor Dad books by Robert Kiyosaki that will give them balance and understanding of life. Yes, I actually have a few of those books, but absolutely. And you also say, but comfortable doesn't birth mainly nothing but laziness. Adversity is what develops and gives creativity and balance to a child with proper guidance, not spoon feeding a child who thinks all things is owed to them from being spoiled to the rotten. No, absolutely.
And I'm going to say this. If you look in our community with these single mothers, I'm so sick and tired of these young women and the older ones talking about there ain't no good men in here. Who are raising these young men? Yes, the father should be there, but in the father's absence, he's not there. You guys should be setting the template of the type of man that young man should be.
Yeah, and then I'm going to speak to the other side of that too. There's a lot of times, because I see some of it on my timeline a lot, where there are fathers who want to spend time with the kids, and I've seen this from the mom's point of view too. Oh, he want to come pick the kids up, but I told him no. You know, he don't really. My son don't really want to go with him, and this,
That's
that,
when I bring my court order and the police.
Right, and I'm like, and so I saw a girl on my timeline doing that. You know, running the dad down. My son don't want to go with him, and I said, why don't you want to send your son with him?
Right. Because that's the come up.
That's his father.
She's losing the come up money. It's
but
control.
But I'm saying even just to visit. And
it's
then
control.
Up the road when you're having problems with him, then you don't want to send him off. But it's like he's supposed to be with his father. Like
it's control.
Why? Let go.
It's control. They want to control us, and that's what it comes down to.
But in that control aspect of it, you're ruining the child because he needs to be with his father.
But they don't care about that. They don't care about that. I got a story. I have a friend who has people living with her, and she's basically doing them a favor, and they were raised, to me, what it seems when she's telling me,
with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Yeah, and you know, where in a situation that come up, they should be humbled.
See, and this is the other problem. So excuse me, millennials, I'm not trying to come down on y'all at all. Millennials, y'all don't know how to take advice for nothing. Y'all know everything. Every single thing I know. I don't want you to tell me, I know.
I know how to get evicted.
I'm gonna tell you. You don't know, which is why we're trying to tell you. And I get it. I was that, you know, young ones, and
we're like our parents. We did what we're told, and we kind of.
Yeah, but it's like we can't say nothing to y'all.
Right.
Y'all can't take we don't have no life experience, nothing to offer you at all.
Or remember, like we used to borrow money from our parents, and they would put conditions on it, and we would have to agree to those conditions. Millennials want the money, they don't even want you to tell them how to use the money.
Exactly. Or well, I'll give it to you, but what you need it for? Well,
don't worry about that.
I'm gonna do something with it.
Of course.
Right. And Tay says, bitter women use kids as pawns. They do more harm to the child by keeping that away. Yeah, it's just, but to Donovan's point, it's about control. Well, you do what I say do. Well, I don't want him to go with you. I don't like your woman. And where y'all going? Well, you can't take him here. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's like when the child leaves your care, he's in the care of his father, go on and kick your heels up. Go do what you gonna do.
You know, which also buys into the myth that I got to talk specifically about my group. Black men don't care about their kids or we're absent. That's not true.
Myth. Yeah,
that's not true.
We
want to be with our kids. We want to do. At least some of us want to do.
And black men are more involved with their children than any other man. Now, you know, marriage-wise, we ain't really like married as much as other people, but you guys are involved with your children. A lot of times, you're not married, but maybe you're in the same home, or you're, you know, obviously.
I'm down the street.
Yeah, but you do have involvement with your kids. So all that deadbeat black baby daddy is a myth. Also, we know who the original deadbeat baby daddy is, but we ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole other show. All right, so Jonelle says a lot of women use a child as ransom and literally run interference due to feelings being inconsiderate of the child innate longing for their father. Yes, kids are always gonna want to be with their father. I mean, unless he's just a
especially the boys.
Right.
Well, the girls too, but the boys, I don't care what you say. A woman can't teach a boy to be a man.
You can't do it. I mean, there's things you can show him, but you can't teach him about what it is to be a man.
Right.
You know. But no, and that's unfortunate, Jonelle. A lot of times women do use the child for ransom as a hostage. Right. Do everything I say do.
Or
who is that in the car with you? Oh no, you can't take it because you know, all of the nonsense is like, mind your business.
And because, you know, we don't want to be in the judicial system, some of us that have prior records, or we just don't want to get in the system, even though we have rights, we don't want to push it. And so the woman, I mean, there are cases where the woman is outright going against the child support order or the custody order, and she don't give a damn.
And I say to men that have that habit, call a man owner.
Yeah, call the man owner.
Call the man owner.
A lot of men
Not forget that.
Yeah.
That ain't what you want to do. Is what you need to do.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Man, if I was a man and a woman did that to me, the first time she did that to me, I have a situation. I got a court order. She's not giving me my child. Yes, I'll wait here until you get here.
Did you guys notice how Dee was showing that ring as she was doing that? That big old rock? You guys noticed that?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering because I noticed it because I saw this big old...
That's my phone finger right there.
Yeah, I saw this big old blink
happen.
I was like, what is that?
No, but for real though, I mean, I hear a lot of men say that. Oh, I just don't, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to...
I want to be the
I don't want to lock mom up.
Shit.
Now, if it was my... first son's mom, oh yeah, I'm putting that bitch under the jail.
No, if it was me, and if that's the consequences of you making me wait out here to pick my child up because you get in your feelings and you feeling like you want to play, you know, the court, the judge today, you going to jail if that's what they want to do to you.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
And Tay says that's right. Men need to call the law if they are being kept away from their children. Point blank. I mean, she gonna call a man on you.
That's true. That's true. Speaking of Miss Tay, Dominic is going into the 10th grade this year? I saw him filling out some paperwork. I don't know if that was a job application.
Is he in the 9th grade or 10th grade?
So.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, there's just levels to how children get the way they are. You know, and just taking it back to Brian McKnight, I'm sure, you know, Brian McKnight's got a lot of money. So I'm sure he has a lot of resources. And
publishing.
You know, you have money. And, you have the ability, if you will, to tell your kids yes more than you would tell them no. I don't know what upbringing Brian McKnight had. Probably his parents probably didn't have millions and millions of dollars, you know. But now he has the resources to say yes. But as he's now seeing, that is manifested.
His kid,
it
backfired on him.
It is manifested some monsters.
Yeah. Really big time. And you know, just because you got the money doesn't mean you have to just spoil them fucking rotten. You know, just give them what they need. There's a difference between a want and a need.
Right. You know, well, you know, they say too that nowadays first generation millionaires rarely produce a second one because that the first generation of millionaires has the ideology, oh well, I want to give them what I didn't have. Yeah. I didn't have a Ferrari when I was 16, so I want to give them one now when they turn 16. No. You know, these sweet 16 mega bashes and all this other stuff.
So real quick, let me ask you this, Dee. I just got a question.
Let me get this comment real quick. And Tay says,
look, my
girlfriend lost custody of her kids by keeping the dad away. I know a few people.
I told you don't tell nobody that. Don't tell them.
I know a few people, women, that was their situation too, kept playing games, and the man was like, I'm sick of you.
So let me ask you this. I'm in a situation.
He's a freshman.
Okay. Well, get ready. You got 3 years of these
little girls.
Little girls banging on the door, calling, and make sure Dominic got his own line and everything, and whatever. But
Donovan, it's not like we were. We had to take the long phone cord
and the cord extension to go together.
And then your mama pick up the phone. He's still on that phone.
Get off that phone.
I need to make a phone call.
No, wait a minute. Get your ass off that phone.
Yes, she is. And you're like, gotta go.
But what do you do when you do have children that are like that, and the parents aren't, they don't want to be bothered, but you're the one that has to deal with it? What do you do in a situation like that?
Say that again.
Okay, I've got, let's say, a nephew or a niece, but I see, a good example, I'm going to talk about my family situation, but my nieces are out there doing that.
Okay.
But I look at how my brother deals with it. My mother doesn't agree with it, but I agree with what my brother's doing. He's done everything he possibly could. They are grown now. So my brother has basically said, I'm done. When both parents, well, one parent, trying to use him as a come up still, but when the father is done with them, what do you do at that point? Why should I, as the uncle, have to step in and then take on the problem that their own parents won't even deal with?
Man.
You know what I mean?
Well, you shouldn't. I'm a firm, because listen, I always tell people, I was out of the house when I was 19.
17?
I moved out when I was 19, and pretty much been out there ever since, But, I don't know.
But grandmama's, we got to do that. Talking to my brother, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. And, and grandma's going to be grandma or whatever, which is, like I said, you guys hear me talk about my mom. My mom's a very unusual character. She's a throwback. She is who she is, and I love her for who she is. Because she lets the grandkids get away with shit that would have just put us under the ground.
Well, that's what they say. You like the kids, but you love the grandkids.
Right. But I see situations where my brother and his, he got married, and his wife, they're going on vacations and stuff, and my mom was like, well, why aren't you more involved? I said, Mom, he doesn't have to be involved. He's done.
I just say it this way. They're adults, and my dad always says, if you can't take my advice, you can't take my money. Don't come asking me for my resources, and then when I try to get, because to me, wisdom is often more valuable than money, because money you can spend.
Right.
I can give you, like they say, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So if I give you the wisdom and the knowledge, and you actually take the wisdom and the knowledge, that is going to teach you how not to keep coming back to me for my resources if you're paying attention. But as I said, millennials, I like them, it's nails to a chalkboard to me. They can't take advice, but they want your resources.
Right.
I can't give you, I can't tell you, well, when I was your age, this happened, and this is probably the best way to do it. Well, I already know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to that point, though, you got to let them do what they're going to do.
Exactly.
And so, let's see.
The commish.
Hey, Commissioner Baker, what's happening? Let's see. And Jonelle says, Brian McKnight more than likely was blowing money on his sons. He loved his boys. When you reflect on him and them, he always was promoting them and singing with them. Yeah, and that's when he was saying, like, I wasn't neglecting them. Yeah. Now that the money train, or the gravy train rather, has dried up, now I'm a son of a bitch.
And of course, they're going to blame the wife, the new wife, because now dad's attention is focused on his wife.
I'm going to say this too. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But they mama's probably got a large role in playing that. He over there married. He don't want to do nothing for y'all now. Look how he acting over there. Yeah, he wrong for that. He's spending all that money on the wife and the new baby, but he ain't just left y'all. I'm sure that, because, I always say this. A mama is supposed to be a uniter and not a divider. And a lot of times, the mom, she needs to be, if I was their mom, I'd be like, yes, your dad is balling. He's done a lot of stuff for you. Now you need to go out there and do what men do. Your daddy don't owe you nothing.
At this point.
He's entitled, because I know people, in my own family, his paying child support, this, that, and the other, and every time this dude get a new pair of tennis shoes or some shoelaces, and the wife or the ex-wife finds out about it, oh, well, why he's doing this, he's doing that, he should be giving me that, and right.
he owes me back child support.
I think about Mos Def in the child support thing. He says when he went to move to Africa, I think he's back now. Said he moved to South Africa. He said because the child support system is not fair here. He said every time I do a new movie role or something, they want to take me back to court. Right. You know, and so
because they want to raise.
Right. And Commissioner Baker says, not part of the subject today, just for your information, I'll be repelling the 10-story, 120-foot Regency Tower in Riverside tomorrow at 11:20 for Habitat for Humanity. Okay. Proceeds go to help vets buy homes. Wish me luck and bring a shovel just in case. All right.
Okay, Commish, I commend you for helping the veterans and stuff like that, as you always do. You're really big in the community of Riverside. For those that don't know, Commissioner.
And he's a veteran too.
Yeah, he's a veteran as well. Commissioner Baker is really involved in the Inland Empire community here in Southern California.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give you this advice. Hey, remember that show, movie Faces of Death, 1, 2, and 3, and 4? I think are 4 volumes. Commissioner, whatever you do, make sure you do correct math on that rappelling line. Remember that guy that jumped off? He had just graduated college. Yeah. And, you know, I guess it was like, you jumped off a hotel. It was 15 stories on the hotel or something like that. Remember, there is no 13th floor in a hotel. So the guy just lawn darted right into the ground.
Well, we know
college graduate.
That won't be the case.
So, Commissioner Baker, be very careful. Double check, triple check if you need to, just to be sure.
Please do. Hey Pamela, he says, I see that you're on live now. I'm watching the Dodger game. I will listen to the show later. Have a great weekend.
Yes, you do the same. You do the same.
And Donnell says, if they're grown children, you can throw them some change, but the guidance is most important, especially for a misguided man. But most grown people got to learn from experience. Absolutely.
There it is.
How will you know if you don't, like I always say,
struggle.
The older people say, fat meat is greasy. Mm-hmm. It comes a time in everybody's life, I don't care how old you are, that you have to learn that fat meat is greasy. At one point, I don't care how big or small the lesson is, everybody's got to learn that somehow. Mm-hmm. And they'll never learn it as long as we keep on, you know, babying them, if you will. Right. And hey, Brian, and he says, knowledge is power. Absolutely. And it's worth more than money. And although you can't take knowledge to the light company. Right. What's happening is your job is never done. Advice is always needed, but there's nothing wrong with just being there when they need help. No, absolutely.
No, we're not saying that, but we're saying, when does it come a point to where you, especially for men. Now, I know women, sometimes you guys get in situations where you got the baby and you need help. Not saying there should be any difference, but we know women sometimes need more, especially young women need more help than a young man.
Right. Well,
to be men, you got to stand on your own. Or, like my father-in-law says, you're not fit to walk amongst men. You know, if you're dependent on your mama, because me and my mom used to get in, this is a true story. Me and my mom would get into it, even to this day, all the time, because I did not ask her for help. I want to figure it out as a man.
Right.
First. Right. How can I call myself a man if I haven't exhausted all the possibilities?
And I would say this too. Define help.
Right.
That's where I go with it. Define help. Like help with, oh, you know, mama need work an extra shift. Can you watch my child?
Right.
Well, how long is this shift? That would be how long is this shift? But help to where you keep dropping the ball and you're expecting me to keep picking the ball up for you, or, you know, no shade to anybody, but not only do you have one baby daddy, you go out there and you get another baby daddy, then you get another one, and you keep bringing all these kids home. See, if you can have all the baby daddies you want if you were taking those babies to your house. But if you got the baby daddies and you keep wanting to come live with me and you got all these kids, I can't keep helping you because my help is actually hindering you.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I have a family member that you just described. You just described.
Yeah, I
mean, you know, her parents do everything for the children, whatever. And the children are on the parents, and she's living a totally
Nah.
You know, so when does it, exactly, when does it cut off?
No, you're not going to keep bringing home I love, you know, I don't have any grandkids at this moment. I don't, you know, not in the near future.
Maybe when we come back from Africa.
No. But I'm not going to be that grandma that keep raising all your grandbabies because you out there kicking your heels up on the dance floor and in the bed. I'm not gonna be that kind of grandma. You know, because my mom wasn't that way. My mom was like, okay, you did, I was 21, almost 22, and I had my daughter, but you did grown-up things, and you need to do grown-up things and take care of your child. Now, my mom helped me when I needed it, but I knew that I was going to swim on my own, and if my mama needed to throw me a life raft every once in a while, I knew she was there for that, which is probably why I didn't have no whole bunch of kids, because I didn't have that type of mama.
Because your mama said, that's it.
My mom's out there doing the electric slide. She's like, shoot, all my kids grown.
Wait. And, you know, no shade to my friend Walter, but he was popping them out.
Yeah, but you know what, though? One thing I say about Walter, because my brother has 6 kids.
6 kids, yeah.
He took care of all his kids.
Right.
All his
but
kids.
I'm just saying,
well, I took care of 3 of them.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, mom was into the grandkids over there, helping out, enjoying her grandkids.
Yeah, but my mama was not that grandmama that was like, bring the babies over here, child. Nope. And Tay says, but people need to know who they lay down with before you have a baby with them. Y'all can see these money-hungry hoes stop procreating with them, right? Nah, all they see is that big giant booty.
That big booty and a smile.
Right, and then when she talking about I'm pregnant, that big booty don't look that good no more, huh?
Or them hazel eyes.
Right, all of that. Okay?
That's it.
And Jonelle says that the negative seed dropping is something else too. His sons clearly was too comfortable, and now he should coach them via experience. They got to man up or learn to man up. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, there does come a time in a man, we just say we're done. We get to that point where, like, especially when it comes to other men, we're done.
Again, I think a lot of that had to do with Brian and the way he brought them up in the first place. He created these Frankensteins, and then you're mad because they acted like monsters.
And and what kills me is they were on tour with this man. If you kind of add it up, over 5 years.
Right. So where's your money?
Yeah, where's the money?
And now they're so dumb. Not even I was trying to say a bad word, but I'm trying to think of you didn't. Tore up your daddy's, and not his reputation, but put him out there on Front Street. Right. Now you think anybody in the industry gonna want to work with you? I mean, Brian McKnight sure got a lot of connections.
And then here's another thing. What do I say on this show all the time? I have yet to see a movie where somebody has done drugs. I don't care what you say, marijuana is a gateway drug, just like alcohol is a drug. But we're talking about marijuana if that's illegal. According to Brian, and I've seen his son's post, his oldest son and the youngest son. Mm-hmm. They're out there smoking the reefer and
that's when he said why they can't get a job because they won't stop smoking.
Right, they won't stop smoking, and it kills me because they're not the only ones that do that.
Yeah, I mean,
the stepmom set them up with a job, but they preferred to smoke rather than to go get the damn job.
Well, no, they want daddy to keep, writing the checks.
Exactly. So for all you guys out there that talk about, look how cool it is. I have yet to see in Hollywood where you've done any kind of drug and it worked out. Even the alcoholic in the movie, nothing ever works out for the guy.
And I have to ask you this question. Think about this. So, he's a millionaire. Shouldn't he, look out for him? Think about that.
Hell no.
And Jonelle says, oops, did I pass it? Commissioner says, no bungee, it's a slow crawl.
Right, okay,
and
gotcha.
Jonelle says, sometimes help is a solid no.
Yes.
You ain't lying. And you also say, not only that, they should have been making contacts and getting work or learning to start a business. That's why I said, like, what did you do? You had access to all those people. You didn't make no connects.
I have a friend right now that is professionally trained. Now, like a hairstylist, and I don't want to say what it is exactly. Yeah. But it's a job that you have to have your reputation intact.
Right.
But this person chooses to smoke. Family members will not give her a job based on the reputation of her being a known smoker.
Smoking weed.
Weed.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's legal, especially out here, but there's a lot of jobs like, that's nice. No. You can't be high on the job.
Or, nobody wants you to babysit their kids if you're not. I wouldn't want anybody babysitting my kids if I know they're smokers.
They're token.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, even though it's, I just sleep when I get high. No.
I'm relaxing.
Yeah, I don't want you around my kids if I know you're involved in that kind of stuff.
Right. And Brian says, teach your children life skills, business skills, and responsible use of credit. Right, but see, to that point, a lot of people don't teach their kids that, and so when it comes time to turn 18, it's like, all right, get out.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times people send their kids to college, and they end up getting all those credit cards and getting into debt because they haven't really been taught about, like you said, using credit.
Then you got to remember too, not only did they get the credit card debt, they still have the Pell Grant debt, and there are no jobs out here.
Right.
And nobody's telling the kids, go to technical school and learn to work with your hands. Because if you think about it, the only people that are working out here are the people that know automotive, aeronautical, hair, cosmetology.
And hoeing.
Well, that ain't much of a job, but it is on a premium.
Depending on who you ask, okay?
Exactly.
Not that I know nothing about. I don't know anything about that.
But see, and that's what I'm saying. We really got to stop sending our kids, especially when you know your kid is not really. If they want to go, let them go when they turn 18. That's that's their right. They can go on their own. But what I'm saying is,
boot them out when they don't know that, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with urban construction? Learning that in college, and learning a technical skill that they can actually use.
Right.
Everybody has a college degree now. There are not enough jobs.
Right. Yeah, you got to make your own job. Trust me, I know. And Cena says, these children are having babies so young they're making mothers, grandmas early and don't understand that we as mothers have done our job. So good luck with that. No, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I don't have no kids, but my daughter has been thoroughly taught. My daughter's, up there. I won't say her age. Cause she
looks like she's 16.
Right. She doesn't have any kids or anything like that, but I told her, have a child with a man that you're married to, preferably. Somebody you know is going to stick around for the long haul. So that way you don't have to come home and say, well, mama, because I ain't going to necessarily I'm not going to see my child struggle, but I'm not going to be that one.
Put it like this.
Because I love the kids, but I can't diaper bags and car seats.
Put it like this. If I had a daughter, I'll give you one mistake. Because, that first love, it didn't work out, you have a baby together. Now, the second one, you better be married, goddammit. You know what I mean?
Or what? What you going to do?
You can't stay in my house no more.
You gonna put her and the kids out?
You damn right. You damn right. You gotta go.
He has some girls. He have a house full of kids. Bring those grandbabies over here.
No, I'm gonna have a house. Wait. I'm gonna have a house full of kids, but I won't be living here. I'll be overseas. They can have it. I'll be fine.
They gonna run you up out of here.
They run me up out of here.
And Terry says, kids. Let me make sure I didn't skip a comment. Terry says. And hello to you. It says, kids were entitled and they didn't want to go any further in life without daddy's money or reputation.
Daddy worked hard for that money.
That's daddy money.
That's dad's money.
That is daddy's money. He says, if you feel your dad is worth more to you dead than alive, ain't that some mess? Then it's time for me to cut the cord completely and float on. Ain't that some mess? You worth more to me dead than alive?
Like you did something for me.
I hope he changed the locks. I'm just saying, if that's how you thinking about me, I'm ready to change the locks.
Think about this. Like I said, I've never used.
Wait, and then he said they broke into his house. So he might have changed
the pictures. But then again, like I said, I've never used marijuana like that, any kind of illicit drug. But I've heard stories where that alters your mind.
Yeah, it does.
So if I was Brian, like you said, change the locks. You better get a gun. Do something.
Ain't that some mess? Broke in his house and then tore up the wedding pictures.
What did the stepmom do to you? Nothing.
I'm telling you, I don't know for sure, but that's probably coming a lot from their mamas. That heifer over there, that should be me.
Congratulations! It should have been me.
And Cena says, we as blacks were taught only to survive, not how to live, so it's time to break the cycle.
Yes.
You ain't lying, and it's a fact. We have been taught to be...
Roaching. Roaching.
That's not in this term talking about roaching. We just be roaching off of each other. Talking about because roaches eat each other.
Yes, when there's nothing to eat, roaches start eating each other.
But no, you're right. We're always in survival mode, and it does create that dog eat dog. Are we done with that one? Yeah. That dog eat dog mentality. And I'm going to do you before you do me. I got to get it from you because, I don't know if you're going to have it next time. So you're right. We do need to be taught how to actually live without that beast mode mentality, if you will, Or as Donovan would say, roaching. So we're going to transition to Jay-Z because I know that's a hot topic. And if y'all want to throw the chicken sandwich in there too, we can, which I haven't eaten, will not eat because I can't eat it. I'm a vegan. But we're going to talk about Jay-Z. I don't have any notes prepared. I just want to freestyle because I know there's a lot of people on both sides of the fence with it. So let's have that discussion here. And Jonelle says our community needs training classes for not only the youth but the parents too, on proper guidance and how to raise and groom children for success, as well as the importance of awareness and civility. Absolutely. Because, you know, like our grandparents, I'm 48. Yeah, can you believe that?
You told me you were 28.
Today I'm 48.
Okay, 48. All right.
You know, my grandparents, that's the stuff they did. You know, they passed those things down, whether it was a recipe or personal grooming stuff, or child, don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. You know, as my great grandma would say, you talk about her boobs, the only two suckers she trusts. You know, she kept the money. You know, all that. Like, they passed those things down. And like you said, you know, my father taught my brother, even though he probably would not know it, looking at him, how to fix a car. You know,
work with his hands.
Yeah, taught him those life skills. How to keep a house clean, and, you know, the whole nine. How not to abuse money, this, that, and the other. But that stuff has just gotten lost. Because as Cena said, a lot of us now are in our grandparents, they weren't necessarily in survival mode because they were practicing group economics. They had businesses and stuff. They can go and do business with each other. But then as my mom's generation came, that's when the civil rights came into play. And so we got out of that depending on each other mode and not really stressing and all that kind of stuff to survival mode, because everything that we built was destroyed, and we fell for the illusion of inclusion, if you will. And so, no, absolutely. And Cena says, I love the platform. Thank you so much. We could not do this without you guys. And Terry says, change the locks, nothing, move.
Get out of there.
Because they ain't done yet. Better install a security system and hire security. Ain't that sad? You better off. That's what they said.
Yeah.
You bet to Brian and I said, you know, I guess they said they're better off. Their dad is better off to them dead.
Yeah. You know, it'd be one of those like cold case files you're gonna see on TV where the wife gets like, and the thing is, Brian McKnight was basically what I guess they said set him off was his stepson. Not only did he appreciate what Brian and the mom got him, he went and got a job to help them pay for the car.
Right.
He took on the responsibility of, okay, I got a car, but that's their culture.
Yeah, he just created some monsters, and now, unfortunately, he's got to deal with it. And Brian says Jay-Z will run for president in 8 years. Will you vote for him? That is the question. All right, so I don't see any more comments, and we'll continue to talk about that. But let's talk about Jay-Z now, shall we?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so much is made of the partnership between Roc Nation and the NFL. A lot of people weighed in on it, and it seems to be two different camps. Some people that think he did something that was going to be noteworthy, and some people believe he did something that was self-centered. I personally am a big fan of Jay-Z's. I have watched what he has done socially and consciously. I've watched him work both up front and behind the scenes to change the narrative. And those are noteworthy. So I can't question what he's doing, much like I can't question what Colin Kaepernick did. The thing that seemed interesting to me, they seem to draw into two camps. And one, if you liked what Jay-Z was doing, you had to dislike Colin Kaepernick. And if you liked what Colin Kaepernick did, you had to dislike Jay-Z. I think both of those men deserve credit for what they've done and continue to do. My question has never been to question them. But I think, you know, people said, well, Colin Kaepernick took the settlement. What was he supposed to do? He could have, the most powerful man in the world stopped him, or in part was responsible for him not being able to get a job. A lot of NFL owners said, we're not going to risk Donald Trump calling us out on Twitter. So the president, in courts, we're not going to let him call the president of the United States and be deposed. The Mueller report couldn't even do that. So they'll be damned if a black athlete's going to do it. So I have no reason to question his motives. Much like Jay-Z, I have no reason to question his motives. He's been exemplary and done things that he did not have to do. I have every reason to question the motives of the NFL owners. You are talking about a group of men who believe things about black people, who believe things about the people that they own, and to them, it's no. If I can own black men, I can rent one. There's no different for them. Their motives have never, ever been in question. They know what it is. I want you to be silent. When they have black people, what they want from you is obedience and silence. That's how you serve. If they don't need to have Jay-Z and the NFL have a partnership for social justice and entertainment, they talk to the people in power all the time. Many of them have had dinners and fundraisers for Donald Trump and been in his presence. They have been in mayor's presence. They've been in Jerry Jones, who owns the Dallas Cowboys. If he wants to get to the police chief on the line, he could do it. If they want to do something about what they saw as injustice, they could do it. They're with those people all the time. They give them money. They keep them employed. They get them elected. They don't need Jay-Z to have a conversation about social justice. But that's never been the conversation. What they want is silence. They want your quiet. They want you to be distracted. Anybody can own an NFL team. If you have the money, anybody could buy an NFL team. Why him? It's a lot of billionaires. What they want, what does he have that other people who have the billions of dollars necessary to buy a team, what does he have? Influence. And what is influence for them? Silence. I want you to shut up and play, and I want the rest of the country to not be distracted, to keep doing what we do. We read a report earlier where it talked about the Super Bowl halftime was down significantly, and they believed in part because black people were not participating. That's what I need. You know why these owners are so good at this? Because they've been doing it forever, for decades. These are mostly 80 and 90-year-old white men who've learned how to deal with black people for a long time. This whole thing reminds me, there was an uprising in a plantation in Louisiana, Germantown. It was very successful. They got these people together, these slaves together, and they started going from plantation to plantation. What happened was somebody told on them. Somebody told them and gave the owners a head up, and they were able to stop that revolt. And they marched all the leaders of the revolt out. They beheaded them, and they left their heads on pikes for everybody floating down the river to see. They also brought the slaves out so they can watch what happens to somebody who displeases them. You know what happened to the man who helped them? He was rewarded. He died of old age. Both Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z, they have something to say. The NFL uses both of those people for a narrative. This is what happens if you don't do what I want. This is what happens when you do. There is no doubt that both those men have been influential in a conversation that this country needs to have. And what the owners are doing is trying to stop them from having it. They don't want it to be had. What they want is for you to go back and watch their games and be quiet. They want silence and obedience. And this is the way they have always done it. It shouldn't be about what Jay-Z is doing or what Colin Kaepernick has done. I have no reason, nor should you have any reason to question their motives. Question the people who are involved on the other side. Question the people who are pulling the strings. Question the people who only want you to speak when you're talking in glowing terms. If I can get Donald Trump to come out to a fundraiser, I can talk to him about social injustice. If I can have the police chief in my luxury box, I can talk to him about police brutality. These people are locked into our communities. And the reason that sports has always been used as a drive for social change is because that's the only time they ever listen to us is when we're singing, dancing, jumping, or running. I think that the NFL care much about social justice as Donald Trump did about A$AP Rocky. What I want is your silence and your obedience and your money. And I want you to break your bodies in service of my entertainment. And then I want you to shut up. Silence is golden, and so are deals that are made with men of ill intent.
All right, so Jay-Z, as you guys know, was about a week and a half ago, I guess, at this point, and the NFL, Roger Goodell, announced that Jay-Z will be working with them in what the entertainment, is it entertainment advisor, consultant, or something like that for the halftime show, this, that, and the other. And he's going to also be working on social justice issues. Yeah, like he's been doing that so much. Well, he has been. Actually, Jay-Z has done the work, so we don't want to say that he hasn't. But the problem is, as you guys also know, Colin Kaepernick, who, you know, I don't tell the whole story, but was the quarterback for San Francisco 49ers. He started to kneel to bring awareness to police brutality and social injustice for black people. And he's been blackballed, if you will, for what, almost 3 years now from playing in the NFL. So Jay-Z makes this statement, I'm paraphrasing, at this conference when a couple of the people, one of them being Charlamagne the God, asked about Colin Kaepernick. Well, what about Colin Kaepernick and the kneeling? And he, says, I'm going to do it my way, he's going to do it his way, but we're past kneeling. What he said. And so that put everybody on, I guess a lot of people on both sides of the argument. Some people like, yeah, that's great, Hov, he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. I hate that. And what's the other one? Oh, it's chestnut checkers. Like, y'all just be repeating any kind of, and then, you know, so a lot of people are saying that was a great thing. You know, Hope's gonna, you know, rearrange the game and this, that, and the other. He's getting a team, which he's not. It's confirmed that Jay-Z is not going to become part owner. He's not getting a team. I mean, they said even if he was to get a team, when it was speculated that he would not have any say-so as far as
He'd
the
be like
players.
a minority owner. He'd be like a
Right,
minority
he has
owner.
no say-so as far
10%,
as who
like-
gets hired and
Like
fired.
Magic Johnson always having a part of the Lakers.
Yeah, he has no say-so, but it's been confirmed that he's not going to be an owner, you know.
Well, you can't have no black man controlling plantations. The
Right.
plantation system, it would work.
Right, and so on the other side, people have called Jay-Z sellouts and, you know, the C word. I don't want to say it because, you know, we get in trouble.
Everybody saw
for
my
that.
meme.
Yeah, backstabber, you know, just you know, butter biscuits, and tap that, just the whole nine. Yeah,
Well,
leave it at that.
he did talk some other entertainers out of.
Well, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
it has been said by people who know JD, Jermaine Dupri, that Jay-Z talked him out of working with the NFL, but now Jay-Z is backtracking. And I watched an interview with JD, and JD didn't say anything. He did a whole lot of tap dancing around. I'm like, come on, Negro.
Yeah, tell it.
Did he talk you out of it or didn't he?
Right, tell it.
You know, he didn't really confirm or deny. It was just like, this is my opinion. I think JD is now kind of backtracking because a lot of people have been taking him to task like, how you gonna let another man talk to you about your money? So I think that's kind of why he's probably saying, well,
no, I think there was
what happened?
No,
was,
what I think what a lot of callers called in and said, man, how'd you let Janet Jackson go?
You stupid. And Brian says, Jay-Z trying to buy an NFL team, so are the Williams sisters. Yeah, I guess the Venus and Serena doing something with the Miami Dolphins. And this fool said 1.777776%. Does that make you an owner? Does that make you an owner?
Well, it's kind of like stocks. If you got one stock, you're an owner.
Right. I mean, but I got some stock in Amazon.
Right.
It ain't that much. I ain't gonna be able to call up.
You ain't a shot caller.
Yeah, I ain't gonna call up Jeff Bezos, but like, man, why don't you roll that boat over here so I can get a piece of it? You know?
Right. Where's the meeting at?
$400 million of that boat is some of that is mine too. You know? So there you have it. You have people on both sides of the argument. So I guess I want to ask you guys who are watching, and I ask you, it's a sellout. Now, there's a lot of people, not that we look to celebrities as, ooh, if they said it, it must be true. But there are a lot of celebrities who have come out and called Jay-Z a sellout and a whole host of things. And then there's a lot of them too that has, you know, said this is a great thing. Or, you know, and you know what, other thing I hate to you guys is, well, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see. We don't know what's going to happen yet. Let's wait and see.
Wait. It worked for Nancy Pelosi. We'll wait till the Mueller report comes out. We'll wait till he testifies. We'll wait. Nothing is.
What are we waiting on? I mean, because they said that he's been in talks with the NFL for a year now. You mean to tell me Jay-Z, who was the first billionaire rapper?
So they say.
Well, you know, that's what they're saying. First billionaire rapper. You mean to tell me he don't have a PR team with some strategy, something to say, okay, you know what? This might go over bad when we announce it, so we need to have some...
it's your boy!
Right. Right. We need to have some sort of plan laid out, because when they ask us, what about Kaepernick, we need to have something solid. He tap danced around that whole question. He was, you know, almost like a, well,
You did not do the step and fetch it.
Let's wait and see.
Right.
What are we waiting to see, y'all? Like, if I was Jay-Z, I would be like, okay, bam. Because, again, I'm not taking nothing away from Jay-Z, because Jay-Z has done the work in a lot of areas. But in regards to this, somebody made a good point and said, and I'm going to get to y'all comments, Jay-Z came and picked up the money, basically profited off of the work that Colin Kaepernick did, because as you guys saw, Roger Goodell and nobody else in the NFL has said anything. They're letting Jay-Z fall on the sword, and you know, and Jay-Z really hasn't said much after that either. You know why? Because he knows Negroes are very docile. Negroes are gonna be mad or whatever for a minute, but then they gonna come on back. Wait, They gonna come on back to the games, and well,
Right.
Hov said it. I'm going back. Because Hov know what he talking about, so I'm going to the game. I trust Hov. How much is that money if he got? I'm sure. And this is somebody else said on my page. God bless him. Said maybe Jay-Z is doing it for free. Come on now, you think Jay-Z is doing this for free?
Nope.
Didn't he sell crack to his own mama? So you think he's doing this for free?
Right,
Come on now.
right.
All right, so let's get to your comments. Enough of me. Jonelle said that move is only good for Jay-Z. You can't disregard your people's struggle for advancement and nearness or a check from those who have been proven to be biased and removed from your people's struggle. True. From your people's struggle. And he signed on to that, which only makes him a miscellaneous director. So yeah, Jay-Z is basically, this is how I see it. I could be wrong, but Jay-Z is just a okay. Perfect example. I'm gonna put the whole Popeyes thing into perspective. Y'all know that lady on the Popeyes commercial? Come on down to Popeyes, y'all. We got some hot buttered biscuits. That lady don't own Popeyes.
Right.
That lady is just the mascot. And that's to me what I see Jay-Z is. He's the niglet mascot to get all the other nigglets to come on back to the NFL.
Right.
Right? I could
And
be wrong.
as a spokesman, he needs to get paid for his time and effort.
No, he's doing it for free.
Gotcha.
And Terry says, yeah, he wouldn't answer directly. He just wouldn't. Yeah, it was just like, you mean to tell me you came all the way to this moment and you don't have like a solid answer to where people say, well, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Okay, I see why Jay-Z is doing it. Yeah, but we talking about, let's wait and see now. Let's wait and see what he gonna do. And then Jonelle says, Damon Dash, quote, everybody knows Jay-Z ain't shit. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
He said that. At the end of the day, honestly, I mean, Sean King hit the nail on the head and said, why are we surprised? Jay-Z is a capitalist. He always talks about money. So for him to sell out Kaepernick, because that's what he did, okay, should not be shocking to us.
Not at all.
And for us, not us, but them, who keep talking about, well, Jay-Z, we gonna wait and see, he gonna help us. Well, Jay-Z ain't gonna write you no check. Jay-Z ain't giving you none of that NFL money.
It's almost like that thought of Elijah Cummings and Maxine Waters. We keep voting for them, but our neighborhood gets worse and worse and worse, and they get richer and richer and richer. It's the same game, the game clock.
Right. Hey, Latia, you says, but what has Jay done wrong? Listen, I don't know if it's an issue of what he did wrong per se, because if you ask me from a personal point of view, he did all right. I mean, hell, he's enriching himself, but
from a business
But
aspect.
To take what Colin has done and then say, oh, well, now we're past kneeling. First of all, who is Jay-Z to speak for us?
Right. And wouldn't that be equivalent to plagiarizing a little bit?
Well,
taking somebody's effort and claiming it as your own.
Yeah, and then kind of changing the words up a little bit. Nah, I got it from here. And listen, Negroes, I said it's time to stop kneeling.
And you're not even a football player.
And you haven't kneeled.
Right.
So what Jay-Z did personally for himself is right. I mean, he helped everybody talking about get the money, but what he did for us in general, I mean, Colin has put everything he has had on the line to bring awareness to the ills.
He did a Muhammad Ali move. He took his livelihood and put it on the line more so than anybody.
And then you also say Cap took the settlement. What was he supposed to do? They wronged that man. Anytime that
they're still wronging him.
Right. So when you take a settlement, which was going to court,
which is admission of guilt.
It was going to court. It was going to a trial, but they settled. Now, anytime you sue, especially in that situation, is because you were wrong. Kaepernick was asking for punitive damages because they
ruined his career.
They ruined his career, and it was proven. There's a lot of proof coming, like first-hand recordings of these coaches and these owners, along with Trump, colluding. That's why they settled.
Fire him!
Colluding to blackball him. So him taking the money, if he would have been working, that money would have been his, he earned. So it's not like he took something that didn't belong to him. So people have that. What was he supposed to do? Say no?
Yeah.
Hell, I'm gonna kneel and get paid, but I'm still going to. And what a lot of people aren't saying too is before Kaepernick got this money, he was giving his own money away before he had any more money coming in. So he didn't say, "Oh, well, shit, now I ain't got no more money. I'm gonna stop, going out there risking my neck." He still gave money.
But what's really sad is, and I'm talking for our people. You have a person that is standing on a principle, that's standing for something that's going to benefit us all. And we just, when you take that thing and you just throw it away like it didn't mean what he's standing for, and you take a person who's looking out for himself in a business sense, and it's like we almost uplift that.
And guess what the owners are doing?
Billions.
It's working, y'all.
Exactly.
We ain't got to say nothing because, listen, they wouldn't be using Jay-Z if they weren't hurting.
Right.
They've been hurting. They've lost a lot of money due to the boycott.
And it's a old game that they know works. Conquer, split, divide.
Absolutely.
Done.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who weren't watching the football, whatever, is going to go back because...
I know I lost the season because of...
I'm just, I have to keep you honest. Like, you sure you want to do that? And Jonell says they're trying to clearly take it to hush mode. That's a tactic they use, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, they start talking about it. Negroes get to creeping back, watching the NFL, and bam. Jay-Z has done his job. I'm sure they paid him a pretty penny to take the heat because Jay-Z, let's face it, has street cred. Yeah. So Jay-Z can go slap your mama because I'm a businessman, and people do it. Street cred to me, people who make world decisions in the world means so much to me. So, right.
Yeah, big deal. But I happen to know for a fact, executive producer Al Jackson, season ticket holder for 2 years now, has not gone to one game because of...
That's a lie.
Well, he tried not to go.
He didn't try very hard. And Latia, you says, and I hope I'm saying that right, so forgive me. He says, how many blacks will eat real good from performing and or getting their music played at NFL events? Listen.
I got an answer.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Last year, Gladys Knight took her butterbean biscuits and she sang at the NFL thing when everybody was boycotting, right? How has her career been going since?
I want to dissect what you said just real quick. You said how many blacks will eat real good from performing and or getting their music played at any NFL events? Okay.
Ask Chrisette Michele.
That's them.
Right.
I mean, they eating already. Yeah. What about us down here? Who gonna pay? How much is an NFL ticket?
$200, depending on who it is.
Depending on where you're sitting at.
Depending on where you're sitting, it's going to cost, people who working at the Winn-Dixie who want to take their kids to the game, it's going to cost them, 2 days of work to do it. So those performers, they're all right. They already have money. So what you're saying is Jay-Z is looking out for people who are already on his level. But what does that do for us?
No.
That those people get to go perform at the NFL game.
Wait. I think the question is forget to perform. I mean, it's almost like... And no offense to you, what's her name?
It's a guy, Latia.
Oh, Latia. I'm sorry. Latia. No offense or like that. But shouldn't you be asking...
Or Latia, I think it is.
Yeah, Latia. I'm going to call you T. Shouldn't the question you should be asking is, how many police officers are not going to be beating our ass for no reason in the damn street? I'm not worried about that performer. What he's doing, I'm worried about all the mass shootings and killings that are going. Shouldn't that be the focus?
Like the
I could be wrong.
Yeah, so right, to his point, is it more important that Kaepernick brings awareness to police brutality and wholesale murder of black people and the injustices that we have in our community? Or is it more important for a few entertainers,
millionaire entertainers,
to get up there and scat dance with some freaking butter biscuits?
Right, for 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes. White people don't give a shit about that.
Right.
They don't even know who the hell Travis Scott is most of the time, or any of these other people. And so, Jonell says, I called him a music director in my era in misspelling it. And Tay says... But
isn't that the question you should be more concerned about? The message of us getting shot down in the street.
But that's why and I'm not saying anything to you, Latia. I'm not saying anything bad about you. But we get so wrapped up into the lives of celebrities, like those people they eating good.
They eating good.
Some of us on the ground level trying to figure out what we gonna eat tomorrow.
Am I gonna make it home from work?
Well, we worried about them getting some old limelight.
Right.
Am I getting a check? Right. Because they're gonna be on performing at the Super Bowl.
Right. Prison reform, isn't that an issue?
Yeah, you know.
Part of what
I'm sitting next to 2 black men. Mm-hmm. Hell, black women ain't safe. I'm more concerned about them not being murdered and shot down wholesale than, you know, these performers performing at the Super Bowl.
Recently, and you know, this all wraps into it. Eric Garner's killer walked.
Right, and finally got fired, and as somebody
5 years after the fact.
And somebody, I think it was Sydney, says that he's able to go work somewhere else if he wanted to.
Most cops do that. Most cops do that.
Right, and so Tay says, I was one of those who was waiting for Jay to step up and say something since he wasn't said a word. I'm left to think that he did it for the check, and that's disappointing because it goes against all good things he has and is doing, and also
it makes it suspect.
It's very suspect, you know. And I know a lot of people wanted to defend Jay-Z. I'm not a Jay-Z fan. I'm familiar with his music and stuff.
It's your boy.
But I think we got to stop being in love with celebrities to the point to where we can't call them to the carpet. And I think Jay-Z knows that we won't do that overall, which is why he can sit up there comfortably with this white man who has been blackballing, you know, and doing a lot of players wrong. And 70% black players won't even, and now they're doing social injustice stuff, but they wasn't doing it before. Kaepernick, and what's the player that wasn't kneeling? Jamal, Malcolm, whatever his name is, Jenkins. You know, he's like, I'm taking over now. I'm doing the social justice. It was like, this kneeling is not over. People are still being murdered.
Well, what about the question of Robert Kraft? He hasn't even been perp walked yet, and this guy's involved in human trafficking.
And for those of us who are pissed off at Trump's everyday antics, a lot of those NFL owners are giving money to Trump's campaign, but yet Jay-Z, who purports to be a Hillary supporter, him and Beyonce was up there with Hillary, you know, he's rubbing elbows with people who are funding white supremacy. So to me, that's problematic.
Exactly.
You know, like, is all money really good money?
And then some of those NFL owners, for all we know, were on the list of your boy Epstein.
Probably. Who knows? And so, at the end of the day, I know we don't want to admit it, and I'm saying we as a collective, but Jay-Z he's in it for a check. He's in it for a check. He knows black people, we get pissed off about stuff. We get mad about stuff.
Good, keep going. Sorry.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna switch out.
Oh,
get ready for the show for the
do it at the last 5 minutes. I'm the director now.
Got it.
He knows that we are going to forget about it.
Of course, because there's so much entertaining. Did you guys hear the Nicki Minaj beef with? That's what I'm saying. The low fruit is just so the fruit is so damn low it's on the ground.
We'll forget about it. Like people aren't really talking about it as much as they were. You even had Marcellus Wiley. Who was cooning, for a lack of better words. I mean, I wish I could find a stronger word than that. But golly, he was talking about how Kaepernick he's not really all black, so he can't feel the full weight of blackness because he wasn't, you know, born in the hood.
Okay, wait a minute. Being born in the hood has nothing to do with being blackness. Now, if you're talking ADOS, yes, there is a difference. Okay.
Well, he is technically ADOS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know, I just hate when they come up with this stuff that has no bearing. He could be a white man. You make that stance, you got my support.
And then he talked bad about his woman, saying that she's Egyptian.
Okay.
Ain't that in Africa?
That's Africa. It's Northern Africa.
Right, but that's to me neither here nor there. And I say this to every black man. I always say this. I know a lot of black men, some black men have problems with black women, but ain't nobody gonna have your back like a black woman. And I always say, get you a black woman who is a bulldog and not look like one, obviously, but one who will kill a mother if they do you wrong. You need somebody who's gonna know the issues, because they were saying that to, Nessa's his girlfriend's name. He wasn't doing this until he got with Nessa. Well, even if that's true,
okay. When is it ever too late?
But ain't you supposed to be with a woman who gonna wake you up?
Yeah. Well, when is it ever too late to jump on board? Wait, didn't Jesus say it could be the last day before whatever you believe, Jesus, Muhammad, whatever. It could be the last day before Judgment Day. If you if you repent the day before, you gonna get in.
Right. Well, I don't have a problem with this woman. Who should he have? Some bimbo? No, you want you a ride or die. Somebody who gonna, have your back, and, when somebody try to do you wrong, be like, not today. That's who you want on your team. You don't want no docile woman who gonna sit up and just be eye candy. You want a woman who like, nah, not today, son. That's who you want on your team.
That's a dying breed of woman nowadays, because like I said, all I got to do is put 50% off on hair weave. You'll be lined up. You'll be lined up.
Marcellus Wiley was talking about Wiley, I guess his name.
Yeah, Wiley.
Was talking about Nessa. She ain't black, so she can't speak to the black experience.
Who is he with his milk dud headed self to talk about who's black and who's not?
I just got one question. What is your black ass wife doing?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
Is she black?
She looked black to me. I mean, if that's the wife that I saw on Twitter, but what is she doing with her black self?
True.
And Jonelle says, Jay-Z and Kanye is like Steven desiring a share in candy. And he could have easily invested in Cap or even a business that would give the community empowerment. Why not do as Ice Cube? True. But he was happy with his chair of regulation. Right. I mean, it could have started a small league or anything. Like I said, he could have been Cap. What do you need? But yeah, he went and sided with white supremacists. I'm talking about the whole $15 an hour thing is, livable wage. Not in California, it's not. Okay? Not unless you're going to be doing some little bit of, something strange for the change on the side, which a lot of people are.
Which I'm waiting for.
I'm waiting for it to go on the premium.
Yes.
But no, so, we are, in all seriousness, said we are going to hit a recession. Cash is king. A lot of times people are material rich, and I talk about this a lot, and cash poor. In a recession, you cannot be material rich. Eventually, you'll end up pawning off your material things. Hold on to your cash.
Yes.
Best advice I can give anybody is take care of the things you need to take care of with your money, as far as your living expenses and, food, obviously. Going to buy the latest shoes and all that stuff. Buying the latest shoes, this, that, and the other. You might want to have that go to a minimum. Eating out, all of that, keep that to a minimum, because if this recession hits, like they say it's going to, Trump is effing up everything all over the world for everybody.
Stocks are taking a hit.
Save your money.
That's it.
Save your money, because especially us in the black community, we don't have a strong network right now. Like all the other communities, other communities are going to be all right.
Yes.
Hispanics, white people, Asians, they're going to be okay, because when the recession hits, they're like, oh, my friend, I need $10,000. Okay,
sure,
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even go to our mom and get $10. She's like, she just should have got me yesterday. I paid the light bill.
No, $10. You still owe me $30 from last month.
So we need to save our money and start thinking of ways to practice group economics and start building, because truth be told, black people are always in a recession.
Yeah.
Because as Asina said earlier, we're always in survival mode, and so we got to come out of that, and we need to recession-proof ourselves. Just to kind of close it, I know I went off on something else, but let's just pretend that Trump is going to be president for another 4 years, because at the rate it's going, he probably is going to be president for another 4 years. If you guys think things are bad now under his presidency, what in 2+ years he's been in there, what do you think it's going to be 6 years from now?
And he has nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose. He's gotten checks from Russia and a whole host of other entities. We as black people, we can't depend, like the Democrats, they're going to do this, that, and the other. They always say that, but they're not. They're not going to do anything for us. Black people, we need to recession-proof ourselves. Nobody's going to save us but us.
And if you can't recession-proof yourself, do what Donovan did. fix up your backyard and make your own paradise. That's
right.
It. Make your own paradise.
And then Jonelle, you say, great to visit indeed. Yeah, California's great to visit. You know, you got all this stuff.
You don't want to live
But
here.
as far as everybody is, not everybody, but a lot of people are hustling and bustling here. And you see people moving around. Nobody really has a lot of time because they're going from one gig to the next.
To the next gig, right?
A lot
With
of times,
no benefits.
No benefits. And a lot of times they're going not just to pay rent or mortgage on their own house, they're like in a roommate situation. And that's how a lot of people are surviving. So you also say stock your food and water. Yes, Jonelle, I know you being a Muslim. My father's been a Muslim for over 50 years. He's been saying that forever. Stock your food and your water, because at the end of the day, when it goes down, not if, but when it goes down, we are going to need to be able to take care of ourselves again. We as black people don't have that network of a black grocery store that would, help us out or hook us up and none of that kind of stuff. So yeah, save your food and your water.
And I was always told, as a little kid, my mom used to tell me and my sister, when you broke, everyone else is too.
You ain't lying, okay? Try to get $1 from somebody
think about
else.
that.
Exactly.
That's deep thought.
Right. Save your money. I mean, not all of us, but just us as black people, we are used to, as the old people say, good time Charlie. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna go get the latest I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna worry about it later, but then later shows up. Eventually, later shows up, and then you're like, oh my God. As my dad always says, we buy what we want and beg for what we need. But to your point, when you're broke, everybody else is broke, and pretty soon we're not going to be able to beg for that stuff because, hell, I was going to ask you for $1.
Oh, by the way, I'm back.
He said I'm talking too much. But Jonelle says, that's real talk. No, I mean, I just think that's something we need to know.
Ring the alarm.
Ring the alarm. It's like playtime is over. I can't stress that enough, honestly. Playtime is over.
Here's something I also discovered. When you're in a relationship, give the money to the person who doesn't spend as much. That helps.
Good advice. Good advice.
Not the cheap one, but the person who doesn't spend as much.
Gotcha.
Because like my auntie told my uncle one day, they had just got married, and she said, "There's 3 rules you must remember. What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine. What both of ours is mine." Rule number 2. Rule number 2 is either my way or the highway.
Right.
And if you don't, and fellas, if you don't remember any of those other rules, this is what my aunt told my uncle. Always remember rule number 3. This is what she said. She says, "I have all the pussy and all the money."
That's right. That's right. At the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
What did she say again? Yeah, but anyway, y'all, that's all I got. I know it's late. Donovan's like, I ain't got a home. You gotta get your ass out of here.
Yeah, you ain't gotta go home.
I know we
Fridays
from now on, we're gonna be here on Friday evenings to chop it up. So
Sundays, are we still gonna do
Sundays?
Sunday?
Yeah, Sundays. I mean,
this Sunday, no.
Sunday, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back in the seat.
Okay.
On Sunday, I need something to talk about, y'all, because we kind of talk about our things here, man. We talk about the Popeyes chicken sandwich. No, I don't know. So give me some ideas if y'all want to talk about something. Jonelle says number 3, though.
So number 3.
So anyway, you guys, Daryl was having, he says, where did you find that man? He found me. I didn't find him, he found me. That's a whole other topic, y'all. We can talk about all this. I don't subscribe to the Bible.
Who said that?
Daryl.
Where did you find that man?
So basically, where did I find you? But I said I didn't find you. You found me.
Hey, Daryl, my booty is for exit, not an entrance.
Stupid. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. We'll get into that. And James just says, all the what? Somebody there, the number 3 rule.
Yeah, number 3. Remember, I'm telling you.
All the money and
all the money. She has all the money and all the people.
Oh my God. But anyway, y'all, so that's all we got. We will see you guys in 2 days on Sunday. If you have anything you want to talk about it at all, just hit us up and we will talk about it, all right? So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Peace.
Two fingers.